Brothers and sisters, welcome back to my channel. Today, we got the winner of the remote YCS. It's probably one of the spiciest deck I have ever saw winning a YCS, and it's, guess what, the second time that this deck actually wins a YCS. Welcome to Santoli. So Santoli, what did you play?
I played Exosister for this event. So the reason I played this deck was because it's a good deck. People have this really weird notion about this deck that it's like a lower tier deck. Like all the tier lists at the beginning of the format, we're just kind of insulting it. It just came out at a weird time. It came out in Sprite tier format. And it was obviously worse than both those decks. And then it was worse than Cash at full power, but that's not really saying much. But now that we have a weaker metagame, this deck's just good. It has good runic matchups because things move from the graveyard. And even the matchups where you don't play from the graveyard, it's fine. Like the deck does enough by itself. People kind of look at this deck wrong with like they have to play against a graveyard deck. It's like no, it's the same as if it's Bestials and Dragonlink, where if you play against a graveyard-based deck, that's great. You get all these bonus effects, but otherwise they're still just fine for doing the thing in their own engine. So I think it's just a really underrepresented deck, and it should just be played more.
How did you come to this conclusion? Like, how did you came up testing Exosister? Because like it's not a deck that you want to test every day.
At the beginning of the format, I just tried getting rid of all the jank ideas I have. It's like the first weekend we had a regional in Toronto. I didn't really want to invest in any of the old decks because that's boring. We invested time into it, so I just played something fun. So I played Exosister because the card seemed good for a while, and I always thought that there was more to this deck than there should have been. And I top 8 that regional, and I was like, okay, this deck's actually pretty good. And I just kept putting more time into it, and then it developed to the point where I think this is just one of the better decks of the format.
Okay, I guess let's go to the deck profile. I'm very curious.
3 Marthas, obviously the best one. This card isn't. If you only open this card, it's only 1 interruption, so it's only Michaelis plus whichever trap you want. So it's not insane by itself. It's not like circular, but combined with any other level 4, it's a good combo. The biggest benefit of this card is the fact that its effect to upgrade triggers off either playing moving a card from the graveyard. So what happens a lot is your opponent will hand trap you, and you'll keep this on the board. You'll summon Michaelis, and then Michaelis will banish a hand trap, so you get a free upgrade into it anyways. Or when you're going second and cracking boards, you have this on board. Again, same thing happens where you make Michaelis. They try and interact with the Michaelis search effect, and then you just banish, and you're getting bodies off anyways. 3 leaves for the 1 summon off Martha, as well as just a generic extender. If you have special summon stuff from the hand, 2 Stella. This one special summons another one from the hand. All the other ones upgrade if your opponent moves a card from the graveyard. Martha's Eater player. 2 Sophia. If you control no one, you draw 1. So all the combos where you have to search a monster, you can search this and you get free draw and play a lot of that card. So it feels good to draw into them. And then Irene, it's just a sister of Sophia, so you just need it for names. So this should be the standard lineup. This deck has a really good game push in the sense that if you open any of these, so any of the ones that put bodies on the board, plus any other Exosister going second, that's 8k. So a lot of people think they can like play slower versus this deck, and it's like, no,
wait a second. You say 8k?
Yes. As long as they have a card in their graveyard, it is game.
Oh, if they have a card in the graveyard, but you have to open Martha and another name, and it's 8k. It's
No. It's any of these 2. Any of these 8. So as long as you don't draw these 2. If you open any one of these and any other one, it's 8k.
Okay. It's 8k. I want to see that after, actually.
Yes, we can show that at the end.
Thanks.
I then played the actual broken card of the deck, which is 3 Aratama. So this card by itself is full combo, in the sense that it's Magnifica, which is your good boss monster, plus any search spell or trap. Going second, this card also by itself is 8k. It's not through circle. Like you use the Exorcism cards to get 8k. It does somewhat clog because you do play a lot of normal summons, and you need control Exosisters to use a lot of their effects. So I side one out a lot, but going first, I just want consistency. And a lot of times there are ways, like if you're starting with this, people aren't interacting because they're thinking you're on Math Mech or something. And even beyond that, if they start interacting with it, you still have Martha as an extender, you still have paths into Martha as an extender, you still have just hard drawing these as an extender. So it's rare you lose this. You summon this, it gets hand shot, and you just lose off that. Happens sometimes, but and choose Secretama just because it's a package. And then hand traps 3 Ash, and then I play 2 Shifter. This is weird, I think, for most people, but I think we're kind of gaslit ourselves into thinking how good this card is because of tier format. Like this card is obviously insane, but the problem with it now is compared to tier format when no one was playing tech cards in tier, it just like 8 tiers engine. You have to use like 3 cards just to put up a rank 4. Now decks can just pass on this. They'll have tech cards. They'll stop you. And And all it does is against the decks it's good against is give you like the pass back. So if you're going second, you get to go first now, essentially, which is obviously insane. But if you're drawing multiples, then that kind of defeats the purpose. Because now I'm going first, but I'm having 4 cards in my hand because the second one does nothing. And over the last 2 regionals I played at is just drawing multiple. Even the matchups we were good against, it just felt awful. And I just didn't want that to happen. I just said, I'll reduce the odds of drawing multiple. I can play other good tech cards. I just don't ever want to see the second copy of it. And I think this was correct, and they felt a lot better today. I draw them a bit less, but it's fine, and I don't ever clog on them because you are playing a value game. So when you have dead cards in your hand, it doesn't feel good.
I mean, couldn't you increase just the cards in your main deck because you have a lot of engine?
You can increase the cards, but you still want to see cards like Martha or Aratama. So I'd rather keep it as close to 40 as possible. It's a direction you can go. You also side the third shifter as well as reasonable. I didn't for this event just because my side was tight. But it's your choice in tech cards. But I was very happy with the 2 of this event. 3 prosperity. You're always keeping 3 in because you side and main a lot of breakers. 3 packs is the best card in your deck. It searches anything. Yeah. And the main thing with this, so the second tech is if you control, or if the monster you search, if its sister is in the field or grave, you can special summon it. So it means you can search this turn 1, set it, and then if they touch the graveyard, it's an interruption. Or if they're using a blowout card, you're still getting value off this. Like, it's just very flexible. And the other thing that's really good about this is it's lets you choose how the tempo you want to play, because if you're getting like deep barriered or something, or if you need to set back row, you can just choose to search the traps instead and play a slower game. So just being able to control your tempo is really good. 2 books and 2 dark ruler. Formats diverse. These cards are good into most matchups. I didn't play 3 because I didn't want to draw 2 ofs when they're subpar into specific matchups. But I think both these cards are generically good. And then 1 duster as well, same mentality. And then trap cards, double Returnia, 1 Vadis. I was playing 2, but there's not that much graveyard decks in the format that you need to play second one. The second one doesn't really ever come up that much. You can usually control your grind, especially when I'm searching paths a lot of the time first action. Returnia is really good. It's also what makes the cash matchup really good, is because in Kashmir matches, Talents is just insane because Rise Heart triggers on anything. But with this deck, is you're ending with Magnifica and this. So your first interaction is always going to be a trap effect. And then your second one's a spell effect, or is a monster effect. So then using Talents' effect to take a monster. I've already done 2 interactions. I've also tagged out Magnifica into Michaelis in defense. So if they're Talents and taking it, they can't switch it to attack because of summon this turn and make a Zeus. So after 2 interruptions, their Talents becomes alive, and it's not even making a free Zeus. It is one of the benefits of this deck. It's like Talents and Thrust just feel awful into this deck. This is somewhat of a trap deck.
I like that.
3 Imperms. No good tech card, and then 3 goes to match. This was the MVP of the day. Floodgates, but I mean, it does what it needs to. It's not auto win against a lot of decks, but it's enough to slow them down that it's.
So the play around talent was when you have Magnifica on the board and they go talent steal, you just Magnifica, tag out, but not special summon. So they have just a Magnifica with 0 materials, right?
No, you tag out into Michaelis in defense. So the monster's in defense, and because it was summoned this turn, they can't switch it to attack.
But they can banish, right?
You usually have to preemptively tag out them. So usually when you're going for the banish effect, depending on the game state, it depends. But I will preemptively tag out, like the tag out's not a cost, so it's just the effect to tag out, and then chain the effect to banish. Now preemptively summoning Michaelis, and if they activate talents, I'll just banish the talents. So they're getting this rank 4 monster in defense that doesn't do anything.
I mean, what I usually like to do, because I tested this deck as well, like back in the days though, or on Master Duel, I like to do like Magnifica, detach, but not special summon, so you have a Magnifica with 0 materials, and they cannot do anything with that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Even if they can attack.
There's multiple ways to play around those cards, which is nice. And also giving Tesh here at the level of the rank 4 and them having it on their board blocks them out a bit further, which is nice.
Yeah, I do. So
that's the main deck 41. It's pretty good. I put the 3rd Aratama just in this week, and I think it was reasonable. Extra deck 3 Michaelis. That's 1 searches spell or trap, and then the quick effect to banish the turn is summoned. Like I said, it comes up triggering Martha a lot. 2 Cast Patel. Lost out Graver special summoning hardly ever comes up, but I guess it's relevant versus like Live Twins. And then searches a monster. A lot of times you're either searching Martha for follow-up or Sophia if you just want the draw. Double Magnifica, so this is the good one. Non-targeting banish, and then it's the effect to tag out, and you can revive or special summon the ones underneath. So generally ending on this with your first turn board.
Yeah.
Returning your first interaction. This is your second interaction. Then you're tagging out into Magnifica or Michaelis. Talents can take this. Doesn't really do anything. You just chain the banish, or if not, then this is just the banish as well as follow up the following turn. And then one Sophia, it's a bounce effect, and the Duello. Duello didn't come up much today. I did use the bounce effect a bit. And then double Jabreen, this is an effect failure. Also gives your guys 800 attack to push. So those are the Exosisters. When I prosperity, I keep everything, all these 9 in. I take out Jabreen because you generally don't need 2 of them.
Yeah.
And then the extra cards sometimes come up. Donner, just to clear Kaijus. You do not play the Sky Striker Link because you need to be able to clear Kaijus. That's the only real time you go into it. You don't lose the Floodgates in this deck because you have 5 ways of searching Returnia. So you don't care about Floodgates. You just care about getting Kaijus off your board. What's an Exoton? Because Exoton and Zeus is nice. One Mavuska, and then 2 Zeus. Zeus actually doesn't come up much in this deck. I just banished both off Prosperity. The engine does enough by itself.
I see the Utopia Lightning. Like, you don't play that in order to auto towers or big bodies?
I probably should, but the main tower monster in the format is Noir, so it's not out of that anyways. I'd rather just try hand chopping them and not get there. You can get Magnifica up to 36, it's usually enough.
Okay.
And then side deck, 2 Bell just for Labyrinth and other backward decks. I don't side this in versus Runic, I don't think it does enough. The one big thing about this deck, and the reason I started practicing initially just for like having some reason to play it, was this deck's Runic matchup's really good. Because if you answer the main engine, the Runic cards just trade horribly into this deck. Like, Martha answers both Flashing Fire and Freezing Curses by itself, like it baits both of them, and then you can just play normally after that. Like, none of the other ones do anything when you're interacting with their board. So that's what really is nice. 3rd Dark Ruler, 3 Dark Hole. You play Dark Hole over Ibli, or over Regeki because you need to clear like Ibli or Ram garbage on your board. It's because also just insane right now. Like, it's really good. Just breaking the board, especially when you're playing with multiple breakers. 2 Lightning Storms, because that's all we have now. 2 Cosmics. Like I said before, I don't care about Runic. Runic is like the best matchup for this deck. I don't even side this in versus Runic. All you care about is answering the main board. Your engine will always be able to deal with Runic by itself. Okay. 2 Neko Valley, which is kind of a weird card. Dragon is actually kind of a hard matchup because you have, which sounds weird, but you have no way of answering Chaos Levy on the pass back. So I just played 2 of this because Dragon was gaining popularity, and just slamming this down versus Dragon after cleaning the trap is like game. I think I saw it once today, but it was just for that one matchup, which I was really scared of. And then 3 Judgment because Judgment's a good card.
Okay. So, any improvement that you would do to the list in the future? Anything that you didn't like about the list?
I think the list is pretty good. I think tech cards can change a little bit as the format develops or whatnot. But nothing main changes that the engine-wise I'm very happy with. So that's kind of the main thing. And then small changes just in terms of what tech cards you prefer. But I can show the OTK combo with just Aratama.
Yes, I need that. I need to pick that.
I'll show it just for the Aratama. If you have 2 Exosisters, so it's like Stella plus random one, it's the same thing. So Aratama normal, Secatama effect, summon itself. So Caspital effect search. You're adding Martha effect sun. And Elise. And you're overlaying for Michaelis. You need to detach the Ellis here because it needs to be in the grave. Michaelis will add Pax.
Oh, because you're going to Pax, that's why. Yeah.
Pax, and then you've already known some, but because the one mentioned on the one you're adding is in the grave, you can summon it. Then you use Michaelis to banish a card from the graveyard. Martha will activate the summon, so you can summon essentially any one. Jabreen for extra attack boost, or this one's the bounce, so if they have extra monsters on the board you need to clear. This is a monster, you just bounce it. You make Magnifica.
So this is for going second, right?
Yes. Okay. So this is 28 twice, so that's 56 plus 25 is the game. So that's 8k off of 1 card.
Very good. Thank you, Santoli. And I hope to see you winning other events with this amazing deck. See you next time.